Coming up on this episode of Flirtations, we're catching vibes, y'all, as we welcome CiiCii to the show to have a conversation with us about how to use the energetic laws of the universe to transform your dating life and beyond. And together, we'll delve into the fascinating world of energy, vibrations, frequency, and how you can become the ultimate attractor in your dating journey and in life. We'll also explore how to call your power back to you when you feel lost, confused, or hurt. We're going to cover energetic healing today, how you can manifest the ultimate belief in yourself that anything is possible. And finally, CiiCii will offer a powerful mindset shift about heartbreak, revealing why your breakdown can actually be your breakthrough. So, get ready to elevate your understanding of energy and transform your approach to dating as we vibe high in this conversation. It's time to meet CiiCii, y'all. Let's go, flirties.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, I am smiling from ear to ear for our discussion today as we have the host of That Bitch is Positive podcast, author of the book Show Up as Her, and creator of the page Vibin' with CiiCii. CiiCii, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
I am just so excited. My heart is going pitter-patter. I had my fangirl moment before we hit record. You're someone I've been following, I feel like, for a couple years now, and just what you create, what you talk about, what you post about is so unique and empowering and just really freaking cool.
Thank you so much. I definitely feel plugged into my purpose. I think
Yes.
I've experienced a lot of heartbreak and circumstance that I didn't understand. I am very much a digger. I think there's a feminine urge to know why. And I started looking for answers, and it broke me open to find those answers within.
Yeah.
And then I just needed to share that with other people. So it's a very organic process of creating, because my life is my model for how I gain understanding of myself and the other.
Absolutely.
But it is a process.
Yeah. Yeah. And my first question is always to share a little bit more about yourself and your work. I think we got some context there. I'm curious how long maybe you've been curious in this way. Maybe if you would equate this to healing and sort of when your healing journey started.
Ooh, it sounds weird, but I was a baby, like very much giving toddler. I always had a bit of a different perspective than all of my peers. And I remember my mom always telling me, you just beat to your own drum and you're a little offbeat when it comes to your peers, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it gave me the unique opportunity to see circumstance for what it was, but then raise it to a higher perspective and find either the flowers within the mud or the silver lining, or even taking pain and transmuting it into power. What really struck me was heartbreak. It was a breakup that started my spiritual awakening. I always was aware of the divine, and I was always interested in manifestation, even in high school. But I didn't fully gain actual understanding until I went through the experience myself. And I remember just going to every book, every therapist, every shaman, every spiritual center, looking for answers.
Yep.
The only place I didn't look was within. And that's when I actually found it.
Yes. And we're going to be coming back to this experience of heartbreak as well. I'm curious, were you told growing up that you're an old soul?
Oh, yes.
Okay. We have that in common. I was already just just yes, feeling a lot of those words where I got the same sort of, oh, you beat to your own drum, Benjamin. Like, oh, slow down the growing up a little bit. Be a kid.
Yes, my mom would always tell me I was 13 going on 30. Always. Even when I was 5, she was like, you're still 13 going on 30. So I resonate with that.
Same. And we're going to be talking about in this episode as well, just how to cultivate this optimism, this positive mindset, calling your power back to you, knowing what it means to live in your purpose, authenticity, truth, getting into all of that. But I thought it would be cool here at the start to have a moment of grounding. What do you think?
Ooh, I would love that.
Okay, I thought you might be on board, CiiCii. So wherever you may be in the world, if you're on the treadmill, you're in the car, you're at work, right? Just ground down through your feet. Feel maybe your back pressing against the chair. You're sitting down. Feel your sit bones rooting into the chair. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Let it go. Notice what you may see, smell, hear. Bring your awareness and senses into this moment, into this conversation, and let's go.
That felt so good.
All right. I want to, I think the first question, as we're going to be talking a lot about energy and energy work, even in your energy healing today, vibrations, frequency. I got a lot of questions that came through from the flirties, and I can tell people just are at different levels of sort of knowing and awareness about what energy is. So I'm curious from your perspective, just how you would maybe describe energy.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we live in a very much physical feeling world.
Mm-hmm.
And as humans, we're quite materialistic because we assume this feels physical, so therefore it must be. But that is in complete ignorance to the unseen world, which is the fabric that holds everything together. Every single thing you see, your yoga mat, your scrunchie, your fuzzy socks, down to its smallest atom is just vibrating particles. It's frequency, it's energy. Everything, therefore, is energy. I am energy, you are energy. All the objects we perceive as physical actually is just energy. Every single thing being energy, it's almost like it has its own little recipe, and that's why different things look and feel different.
Okay.
My energetic recipe is different than yours. That's why we might feel a little different. That's why we look different. That's why we are maybe perceived as different. Every single person, every single thing, everything's energy. We just have different recipes. And that is why we show up, look different, we feel different. Does that answer that question?
Yes, absolutely. And I love talking about energy, as there's a version of the Flirt Coach that is a yoga teacher. And I talk about a lot of this in my yoga classes as well. It's like, have you, I'm thinking of that one experiment. I think it's on YouTube, where particles of droplets of water were played different styles of music. Right? And the ones, it's just a droplet of water, but still you see water, it is particles of energy, just like you were describing. And when that music was listening to, or when that water was listening to something like opera or really beautiful music, it made these gorgeous, very symmetrical shapes. And then when it was played something maybe rougher, louder, maybe more harsh. Yeah, you could like that style of music, but how that water reacted was it formed these jagged edges, and the symmetry was just it wasn't there.
Yeah, I have a quick tip actually for magnetic energy. Encode your freaking water, because it's everything. Dr. Emoto found. So he took water and he literally pasted words on it, words like prayer, love, light. And then he froze that water, looked at it under a microscope, and it was beautiful patterns. Then he pasted on another container of water, hate, you make me sick. Froze that, looked at it under a microscope, and there was really distraught, just not pretty patterns. It was very, like you said, jagged. your words, just like you, are also vibration. Sound is vibration. Your words are vibrations. Your thoughts are things. They are vibration. They're as real as the water bottle sitting on your desk.
Mm-hmm.
In the unseen world, it's all as real as anything else. We're just not perceiving it. So if you are feeling like you want to attract abundance or love, or you want to step more into your magnetic energy, take both of your palms, put it over your water, and literally say, I'm setting the intention that this water makes me more beautiful, more magnetic, more healthy, whatever you want to do. Encode your water, and then you're drinking that vibration. It does so much for you, and you'll see it. You'll feel it.
Yes. I love that tip so much. That's not something I've heard before or have really thought to do. And as my hands are around my water cup right now, I'm going to be doing this, all the time. Because something else that I've learned from yoga, it's that everything is truly energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transformed.
Yes.
And that changed my life.
Oh my God. And I have goosebumps as you say that, because I am literally just created this course called The Art of Alchemy, Transmuting Pain into Power. I really, if I could leave everyone with something today, it would be, you are an innate alchemist. You do have the power to take the things that feel like they were sent to destroy you, take that energy and channel it into the workout, into staying later at work, into creating a TikTok or whatever creative endeavor you love. We all have the ability to take energy, whether it's anger or sadness or pain. We can take that and transmute it, because it's not going to be destroyed. It's not going to go anywhere. It will either lodge into your organs and your tissues and make you sick, or you can take it and use it, channel it, use it as fuel. I just love that you said that, the transformation, because every single one of us has the power to do that. We are very much magical as much as we are physical.
Yeah. And I have a question I'm going to ask in just a moment for the flirty that I think is feeling a little bit skeptical, because it's hard to, you can't really see energy. You can see the physical object, or you can feel the emotion, and that feels very physical, but it's not necessarily something you can just hold on to necessarily. So for the flirty that's like, I don't know, I have some questions. That's coming in just a moment. But I wanted to ask you now, we hear a lot about, certainly in the dating world and in relationships, vibrations. Right? Like, I didn't feel their vibe, or we didn't vibe. So giving some context, now that we're, I think, rooted in this conversation of what energy is, what is vibration? Vibration
is basically the frequency of particle movement in a way. It is how the vibration is moving. So different things have different frequencies. Let's say I wake up and I'm having a really great day. I'm probably going to be in a higher frequency. The movement is going to be higher, more movement. If I'm having a lower day, my frequency might drop a little bit. Frequency is movement. It's always going to be moving. It's kind of just how much is it moving? What are the wavelengths there? To make it less scientific, when you are in alignment with another person, the way you know you're in a similar frequency is the conversation's going to flow. It's going to feel like you've known this person forever. It's going to feel really easy. When you leave that encounter, you're not going to feel depleted. You're not going to feel like you were just hit over the head and ran 3 miles. It's going to feel like your cup was also replenished. When you're not a similar frequency with another person, oftentimes you walk away feeling almost energetically violated, is the way I explain it, because I really don't know another word to say. But you do feel depleted. You feel shut down. Maybe you feel misunderstood. When you vibe with someone, why are you vibing? It's because your frequency is coherent with theirs. You're literally on the same wavelength, or a very similar one. And we feel that. And I think we need to encourage ourselves to trust our feelings more, because like you said, maybe it is more difficult to see it. Okay, so use a different sense. What are you feeling? Because we also have that sixth sense of understanding. However, in our modern world, has that been encouraged? No.
Yeah.
Do you have to
Yeah.
re-examine and re-encourage your relationship to the external world? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I mean, society's not doing that great. So maybe we need to not look at what they're doing and instead say, okay, there was ancient ways of being where people literally only relied on their intuition. When we lived in tribes, it was that or nothing. Maybe there's something there because civilization survived and got to this point. And now I don't really know what's happening, but maybe we need to go back to that.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we're going to be getting into, I've got some questions here about intuition and inner knowing. That is coming. But I love what you said here so much is like, I think about, sort of if you can picture a pyramid, like this is the visual that always comes to my mind. And you have at the top of this pyramid, the frequencies of gratitude, love, appreciation, joy, pleasure, excitement, right? All of these really feel good emotions, states of being. And then at the bottom of the pyramid, which can feel really heavy, they're dense. You've got frustration, anger, grief, sadness, loss. And so when you say you're vibing with someone, I think you're both vibing in these upper frequencies. Or like you said, you're like, oh God, the vibe was off. Maybe you're up there in joy and they're, you know what, they're having a tough day. They're really tired, or maybe they're experiencing loss or sadness. And you're like, ooh, mismatch of vibes. The vibes were off.
Oh, yeah. And when you try to, I'm not going to go on a tangent here, but I just want to say one thing maybe, because probably someone needs to hear this. I know I did. When you try to fix someone, baby girl, you then take on their karma. You'll start realizing in your life, where did those opportunities go? Why am I starting to feel depleted every single day? Why are all my relationships kind of faltering right now? When you try to fix someone, and most of the time you'll notice they're not even asking to be fixed. It's the fixer within you that wants to fix them because that's the role you've played your whole life. When you try to do that, you are now impeding on their free will, and you're taking on those lower vibrational emotions. You're taking on their karma, and now you're going to have to live through it. You're going to have to heal the karma. That's not your role. Understand your role in other people's lives and stop overplaying it, and understand their place in your life.
Yeah.
See it for what it is. Read the writing on the wall.
Yeah. 100%. Something, who needs to hear that? Me. CiiCii. It's like, because I'm like, that is the role I have pretty much played in my dating life my entire life here at 39 at the time of recording, the fixer.
Yeah.
Right? And
I get it.
Yeah. I think a lot of empaths relate to this. And who knows, where this sort of identity came from in childhood, maybe the result of trauma, pain, difficult experiences. We all can take on this role of the fixer. But I love what you said right there. It's like you can then form this karmic connection.
Well, you take on their karma. Imagine they're holding a 50-pound brick. It's like they give it to you. And now think about it. You're trying to solve their problems for them. You're now codependent on taking their desires and trying to make it happen for them. You're taking on all their lower vibrational emotions because they're able to go to you every single day, and you're trying to heal them, fix them. You are literally visualize it. You're taking on their pain. You're taking on the lessons they need to learn. They need to learn them, not you. They need to learn them. And to say more about this, you also have to pay attention. If you're in a higher vibration than someone else, guess what? You're going to be able to see their higher potentials that don't yet exist. So you're going to be able to see who they could become if they gave up the addiction, if they gave up all their negative coping mechanisms, if they put in the work. You're going to be able to see that. That is not what's happening on this plane.
Right.
Similar, but opposite. They might not be able to see you in all of your glory and all of your light because their lower vibration caps their ability to see you. Yeah. So we have to take things vibrational. We have to acknowledge the unseen world instead of taking everything so personal. Because at the end of the day, the vibrational laws hold everything together, and they are what is controlling everything. And I could walk off a cliff and be like, I don't believe in gravity. Doesn't matter. Gravity is going to take me down.
Yes, it is.
There are laws of karma, of vibration, of rhythm. If you don't start to learn these things, then these laws will take advantage of you instead of you using the laws to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. And this ties, oh my gosh. I mean, this could be, I mean, a whole series. Like this is a topic that will not break down in totality here today. But I think giving the flirties a lot of context and a lot of useful information that they're going to be able to use in their dating lives and in their relationships. As it's like the frequency, the vibration feeds into the energy, and then you have these laws of energy that sort of govern everything. It's fascinating. Yeah.
It is, and it's empowering when you learn, holy moly, I have so much more control than I thought I did. I just was, it's almost like you are throwing yourself into an ocean and you have no idea which way the current may be going. But when you learn the laws, you just sit down with yourself and say, all right, I'm going to plug into this. When you understand them, well, now you can use them. You can rise above them. Yeah. It's a different way of living.
100%. 100%. I think, so now coming back to a question I teased a few moments ago for the flirty that's like, I'm sort of unsure where to start. I think with energy healing, energy work, I think we've given them some great tips so far. And for the flirty that's tuning in, that is like, ooh, maybe I've tried this, or, I'm unsure, I'm having some skepticism, sort of how... speaking to that experience for the flirty that's like, you know what, I tried this and it didn't work.
I love that. I think you should be skeptical. There's a quote that says, the young trust and the wise test. The thing is, the electromagnetic field we reside in wants to be tested. Test it. Your life is your own experiment. Don't believe me. Who cares what I say? I'm just a person. Your life is your experiment. What you can start to do to take a baby step, start with setting intentions, small intentions. Yes. Today, I'm going to get the best parking space in the lot. Today, I'm going to get a free coffee or win a free contest, whatever it is. Start to set small intentions that are low stake. You don't really care about them, so you're not causing resistance to build up on the back end. Yep. And just start seeing how what you think about starts to be perceived in your reality. What you think about starts to flow to you. This doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. You have to build a relationship to the divine. And in order to understand the divinity that we exist within, just start with dating the divine, small little intentions. Yeah. I intend that I would always, when I went to the gym, would intend that the exact machine I wanted would be free as soon as I got there. And it started to work every single time. It would be open. I was like, whoa, I would get the best parking spot. Whoa, build up your belief by testing. I think a lot of people tell you, do affirmations. Forget about affirmations if that doesn't work for you, and instead look for evidence of what you're intending. You will find what you look for. And slowly but surely, you're going to start to see the results. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to believe it. And then that belief will build and you'll be able to manifest greater and greater and greater things. But start small. Yeah. Extremely fantastic and helpful, as this is something that I, started a lot of my yoga classes with. And if you've taken a yoga class, probably the teacher has said, set an intention or work with an intention. And it's really about aligning your energy with your frequency, starting to get that in check. You're grounding yourself in the moment and that experience. And it just in our minds, where if you're someone that has a lot of anxiety, or you're dealing with loss or a breakup, something like that, and your mind, you feel like yourself is just existing in the past, in the future, bringing yourself back to this moment. And it truly is about, you can't see what you can't see. But if you focus yourself on what is right in front of you, it's amazing how these opportunities do start to present themselves. Even something like the machine at the gym, the parking spot at the grocery store. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And there's so much scientific evidence for this. I mean, one basic thing, just how human beings are structured. We have something at the base of our brain called the reticular activating system that literally filters our external reality based on our own biases. So if I walk into a bar and I think all men are trash, you will bet your butt that I'm going to align and see the guys who are trash. Even if there's 10 guys that are amazing, I'll find the one that's not. Because there's way too much information for us to process everything. So our brain is going to look for what we already believe. That's cognitive bias. It's how our system must function so we don't overload ourselves.
Yeah.
Setting the intention is a seed for everything. How do you move your arm? You have to set an intention to do so. Set an intention to find the guy, to get the parking spot, to get the role, the job. Whatever you look for collapses from wavelength form into 3D reality. The timeline will collapse and flow to you. Observer effect, you can look that up. Quantum physics. You have to look for what you want to find. I don't believe in thinking or stating, when you don't look for it, it's going to find you. No, that makes no sense when it comes to the science of it. Look for what you want to find. Be happy where you are. Surrender to the present moment. But go look.
Yeah.
What's the point of not using your senses? Look for it.
Okay, let's all right, spend a little bit more time here because I think the flirties, I can think of a few questions that now they're asking themselves. And one phrase that comes to mind that I've heard from a lot of energy work is the greater resistance, the greater the breakthrough. Oftentimes, like that's something that has helped me. But I'd like to hear from you some things that may. How do we block ourselves sometimes with maybe fear, with uncertainty, not trusting our own inner knowing? Yeah, some things that may come up, really blocking us from seeing opportunities.
I love the quote that your breakdown is your breakthrough, because that for me is kind of what happened.
Okay.
And when you do break down, you break open, you let the light and the lessons in.
Yep.
I think what happens a lot of the time is we let our pain blind us. We get so caught in the pain that we think, well, I'm going to die alone. There's no one ever that's going to be as good as my ex. I can't go out and date. I don't even know how to date. We let the pain talk us out of finding pleasure. We need boundaries with even our pain. Yes, feel to heal. Yes, acknowledge your emotions. But if every single day you're not able to see beyond your pain, that pain sort of becomes an entity that's like a parasite feeding on you. You need a boundary with it.
Right.
You're more powerful than this pain.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with the pain, but you can't let it tell you what to do. So if you're going through something that's, oh God, it's awful, set a timer, 45 minutes. That's as long as we can feel one emotion. And what happens is, after 45 minutes, you're not feeling that original emotion anymore. Okay. So if I'm feeling depressed and this pain that's making me feel powerlessness, after about 45 minutes, you'll notice you'll switch to anger because your body wants to go to now a powerful state. But then after about 45 minutes, you're going to switch back to powerlessness. Okay. We think we're feeling one emotion, but really we're doing this crazy 8. We're going back and forth from whether it's anger to sadness, and we're re-triggering ourselves through our own narratives. You're not feeling the emotion or the pain anymore. The pain really it's not the main culprit. It's that you're allowing it to cause you to think more negative thoughts, which is then re-triggering you into more negative feelings.
Yep.
Making sense?
Absolutely.
Set a timer for yourself. I literally would do this with myself. I would have crying sessions. I said, okay, I have work to do today and that has to get done. I have duty, I have responsibility. But for 25 minutes, you can go up to 45. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to bawl my eyes out. I'm going to scream, cry Taylor Swift if I need to. And I'm going to let everything go. And then after that, I will have given myself time to feel. I will have given myself time to process.
Yep.
Then I got to go do what I need to do. Because at that point, I felt some of the emotion. I felt some of the energy emotion. Now I'm going to use the rest of it to channel, to use it as fuel, to do something else with my life.
Okay.
Kind of bringing the idea of alchemy back in, transmuting the pain into power. I think it's an important question to ask ourselves. Well, what is this pain teaching me? Is there a pattern? Am I still the fixer? Maybe that's something I need to fix within myself before I focus on the next partner.
Yeah.
Is there something I want to create? Does this make me want to write a song? Does this make me want to write poetry? Does this make me want to paint? Is there something that wants to be birthed out of me? Because there are certain things that no one else can gift you, and you are the sole person who can birth it onto this planet. The pain is sent to empower you to find and plug into your purpose. What is it trying to teach you? Or, of course, you can use it as fuel to do the workout or whatever you need to do at work.
Yeah, I love
a couple phrases you just mentioned there, that your breakdown is also your breakthrough, and
Yeah.
feel to heal. And this idea of putting boundaries around our own pain, around these, that experience is certainly very real and is legitimate. Like, we experience painful things in our lives. So be compassionate with yourself. And something else I've learned from you, it's like we gravitate towards what's familiar, but it doesn't mean, because that familiarity feels safe, even though it's not necessarily healthy or good for us. So I love this idea of, right, like, we gotta we gotta put boundaries around our pain too, around those difficult experiences, and then know that, like, whatever we're feeling, experiencing, that means we're capable of feeling the inverse of it as well. So this
Yeah.
deep pain or loss or heartbreak, on the other side of that, resistance perhaps is joy, pleasure, love, all the amazing things. So I want to stay here for a moment more and go back to the heartbreak you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, and how that was maybe a catalyst event for you and your own healing. If you could talk a little bit more about that experience, and maybe what shifted or changed in your life.
Yeah. So I was very codependent, anxious attachment type personality. And as long as this person was going to be in my life, I would not have the ability to focus on myself,
Yeah.
because the program was so deep within me to have someone else on my pedestal and focus on them and take on their karma. I would have never even known, wait, there's another way to live, and it can feel so much better, and it can be focused on me, and I can actually build up my own little empire.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he left my life that I was gifted the space to find myself, to create beauty from my own vessel, but also for me and for others. I, in that space, had finally the time and the energy to channel back into myself, to pour back into myself.
Yes.
And I was thinking, well, I feel terrible. Like, something's wrong. I was looking at other people going through breakups, and I thought to myself, okay, why is my experience not looking like that?
Yeah.
Why am I feeling like I literally felt like I was going to die every single day? I mean, such a shell of myself, crying just all day, all night, could not eat. I remember my mom tried spoon feeding me oatmeal because I vomited. My whole entire body was purging, crying, everything.
Yeah.
And eventually, I remember I was looking in the mirror, and I wasn't looking at my body or anything like that. I was looking at my eyes, and I just had this moment, this spiritual download of, if I got myself here, I can get myself out of here. I have played a part in my own misery, and I have played a part in my own programs, and I've played a part in the dynamics that I've dwelled within. I can get myself out of this. I can do it. I can unlearn what I've learned. I can learn better ways of being. I can realize and empower myself to take my energy back and to use it in a way that's for me rather than against me. It honestly was just that moment of looking into my eyes and realizing, whoa, I'm a soul within this body. I can do more.
Yeah.
It was a light switch that went off in my being. I started listening to different podcasts, reading different books.
Yeah.
I started going to the shamans and the spiritual places. I started to look, and then eventually looked within and really found the answers that I was seeking.
Yeah. I've got a few more questions here, because I want to learn more about this experience. I think it's just so incredible and really powerful. I mean, I've had experiences like that too, where it's like you truly look at yourself maybe for the first time or differently than you ever have before. And it's like you start to transcend what you see on the outside, transcend your programming, your conditioning, your story, thoughts, beliefs, all of that, and see really deep inside, which is terrifying and scary perhaps, but also incredibly empowering. And so cool knowing that you get to be the creator, the manifester of your life, your destiny, everything you dream of is right. It's all within you. And so I'm curious to hear more about your experience now and maybe those first couple steps you took in this new healing journey, those first one or two changes maybe you made that really helped.
So, okay. This is my favorite thing I've ever done in my life because it drastically altered everything. It quantum leaped me. This is what my book Show Up As Her is based on. The last chapter, I give you a whole entire diagram on this process. I took radical responsibility of where I was. I recognized through the spiritual download, if I got myself here, I can get myself out of here.
Yes.
Within the next thought was, who do I want to be? I thought of her, my desired self, and I reverse engineered her. I literally asked myself, what does she do on a daily basis? How does she think? How does she talk? How does she walk? What does she wear? What teas does she drink? What kind of workouts is she doing? What's her diet like? What is she doing on social media? Her thoughts, her beliefs, her actions, her habits, everything she did, I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I said, okay, this is my new outline. This is my new guidebook. This is what I'm going to do every single day. You have the answers within you. The person you want to be, who I believe is who you actually are underneath the programming you've learned, that person that you want to be already there. You got to peel back the layers like an onion though of all the learned BS that has come with you. Yeah. And I took that piece of paper. The inside of my room looked like a self-help book. The walls, there was quotes, there was my guidelines, there was things I wanted to manifest. I just pasted everything up on my wall because I needed a reminder of, no, CiiCii, you're not who you were yesterday. You're becoming this other person who you actually are.
Yep.
I put it on my wall. I looked at it every single day. I bought new workout clothes. I did different workouts. I drank green tea. I ate different. I spoke different. I had different habits. I had the answers, but then you had to take the next step and you had to take the action because the action is thought reinforced. The action is, as we were talking about energy before, it's energy amplified because now you're doing something.
Yep.
So it's more powerful than thought because you're enacting the thought. And I just followed what I already knew about myself, but it was just the action of it.
Right.
And that, the different thoughts, the different beliefs, and even if it wasn't perfect every day, because it's similar to yoga, it's a practice. You have to practice being who you actually are.
Yes.
Some days I was still like, blah, mess, crying, blah, whatever it is. But it's the sum of the parts that matters. And you'll get there. And who cares what it looks like? Be a mess, cry, scream, have your mascara running. It doesn't matter. But you'll get there.
Yes.
And you have the answers. Just do it. Just go with it. See what happens. Get curious. You don't even have to believe me or anything I'm saying. But just say, maybe, what if? Try it out.
Oh my God. Obsessed with all of this. I want to ask this question now that I think ties in really nicely to what you were just talking about. This came through from a flirty who just simply said, how do I start to trust myself again? I love talking about intuition on Flirtations. How can I just trust my own inner knowing when I feel like, maybe I've made a string of bad decisions or I just am not sure where to even start?
You probably have made bad decisions, but that doesn't mean they were based on your intuition. That could have been based on your egoic programs. Because like we were talking about before, familiarity can sometimes feel like intuition because it feels like something we know. But it's not knowing, it's knowing from past experience. That's different. That is a different set of information.
Yes.
Our intuition is never actually wrong. How we translate it is where things get a little bit messy. I would recommend build a language with yourself. And what I mean by this is I happen to do this through dating reality shows, but you can do this with anything. But let me just explain. I would watch dating reality shows and I would let my body tell me, because your body has so much wisdom, I would let my body tell me who was going to end up together. And I would just test it. I think Britta and Brad are going to end up together. And if it was right, I would write down what it felt like in my body when I had that feeling. I would try it again. Watching this reality show. Who do I think is going to pick who? I think Chelsea and Chad are going to end up together. And I would check in. Okay, where did I feel it in my body? Did I feel it in my chest? Did I feel it in my stomach? Was it just a weird knowing that I can't describe? Okay, I need to start recognizing what my intuition feels like on low stake applications. Realistically, will it affect me if Chad and Brad gets together Chad and Brad, sure.
Why not?
Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, anybody. Well, will it affect me? No, I'm still going to live my life, but it will help me understand what my intuition feels like. Then I started to check in with eating, intuitive eating. What is my body telling me? Does it want a banana? Let me hold a banana in my hand. What do I feel? You can even do this with color. Am I getting white? Could be yes. Black could mean no. Or you can do a red light and a green light. Test languages within yourself by checking in with what you're feeling rather than what you're thinking. And I think a good way to do that is simply with a reality dating show where it doesn't matter what the result is, but you're experimenting with how your body speaks to you and seeing what does it feel like when it's right and what does it feel like when it's wrong? Do I get a color in my mind of a green light or a red light? Do I get a feeling in my body? What does it feel like? What are you receiving? And you have to start to decode within yourself. And again, it's a practice.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely a practice. And you set me up so beautifully for the next question, as like we're gonna, in the little bit of time we have left, want to get to a couple dating questions that came through, but wanted to ask you one more here that is, and this is something I've gotten from your content, and I love that you talk about this so much. I talk about this in my yoga class too. It's about doing less and being more, that you don't actually have to do everything to receive. And so I want to speak to that experience a little bit, because I know there's going to be at least a few flirties listening that are starting to take on this healing, this energy work, or maybe they're deep into it. They're starting again after a break and they're feeling like they have to do everything. Right? To do. But you were just speaking to the experience of being, of feeling, which can be uncomfortable if it's not something we're used to. The experience of being is actually uncommon for a lot of us, because we don't be enough. We're always doing. We're always on the go. It's like the person, which is me a lot of the time, that's watching reality TV and on their phone, scrolling, right? Just sensory overload. So enough of like the setup, speaking to the experience of being more to then receive.
I agree. It's definitely a process of trusting that you will be provided for. I think we have forgotten that abundance is our divine right. And when we don't have it, it doesn't mean it's because we're not deserving or it's not our divine right or we can't. It's most likely because we're blocking it off, trying to do too much. I'll just say from my own experience, I've tried forcing matter with matter. It doesn't work. It's frequency over force. I tried begging people to stay in my life. I tried clawing my way into someone else's life. I tried doing it. If it worked, I would be like, yeah, do more. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's a waste of your time. I would let you know from my own experiments of what I received, it does not work.
Yes.
What I have found is that not only does doing less, when it comes to dating and attraction, not only does it get you more, but it feels better. And your feeling is your compass. Your feelings are trying to tell you, go this way or go that way, make a right or make a left. We have to listen to that more. I think a lot of us have this in the back of our minds, a rush. I got to find a partner. I got to get married. I got to do this. Maybe a lot of your friends are getting engaged. I truly believe that at the right time, in the right moment, there's nothing you can do against yourself or for yourself that's going to change your right person coming into your life.
Yeah.
Your higher self and their higher self is already trying to figure out how they're going to put you two together. And there's so much that the divine will do for you that has nothing to do with you. And yet you might be actually causing resistance if you're forcing yourself to go out every single weekend, but you're so tired. Now you're bringing down your frequency and delaying the right person from matching your frequency, which might be in a higher vibration.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge, similar to the energetic law, the divinity that's supporting us. And I think a lot of us have never been introduced to it. We're actually introduced to how no one's helping us, no one's on our side, the world is against us. Okay, that's propaganda. It's like it's narratives and lies, and the reason it feels so bad is because your inner being is trying to tell you that it's not the truth. And when you recognize, wait a second, so many things had to happen for me even to exist on this planet in this moment.
Yeah.
Maybe there's power that's beyond my understanding right now that is supporting me, that is helping me. And maybe I need to think back to times when I thought nothing was going my way and realize how it all did go my way, how everything did connect in the end, how it actually did work out in my favor. Maybe you need to go backwards a little bit to understand how you got to where you are and realize, wait, there is a divine hand in my life. I always had a relationship with God, but I did not truly know God until that breakup, because I swear to you, this is the truth. I was crying, anxiety just riddled my body. My mom took me to a chapel, and I just went because like I said, I was looking for help anywhere I could get it. And if a chapel could give that to me, bring it on.
Absolutely.
I was wailing, crying in the middle of this chapel. I don't even remember if people were there, in the middle of the aisle. And I remember saying to God, remove anything and anyone that has to go so I can find my purpose. I feel lost. I am miserable. I don't like anything in my life right now. Do what you need to do to get me into a better place. Within 2 days, that's when I found out my then partner slept with someone else. And I was hysterically crying and screaming. And in the middle of it, I looked so crazy probably. I started laughing because I remembered, wait, I just went 2 days ago to the freaking chapel. And I was like, God is real. This is divine intervention. Get the fuck out of my house. And this is real. I go, oh my God, God is real. That was my introduction. So I understand. I was also skeptical of all of this. I think you should be. Ask the divine, though, to play a part in your life. Be like, okay, if you're real, do X, Y, and Z for me. You know, mold my desires, train my type, release this sting from my heart.
Yes.
Take the burden I feel in my body and release it from me. And the divine will help you. There are ascended masters. There are guardian angels. There are archangels. Whoever you want to work with up there. There are such loving energies that want to help you, that will help you. Call on them. And when you do, they will enter your life.
Yes, that the divine being, a higher power, something bigger than you, knowing that you don't have to do this alone. And you shouldn't. You can't actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you think it's interesting that when the burden is too heavy to carry, don't you think there's a reason to that? Maybe it's because you're not meant to carry it alone.
Yeah.
We got to think about this. That makes sense. Oh,
absolutely.
This is too much for me to bear.
Yeah.
Probably not meant to bear it alone. Probably meant to call on divine assistance. And I understand being in isolation and being alone. I felt like I had no real physical beings of support in my life. Of course, we have our maybe parents and whatever, but we don't feel like they understand us.
Right.
It wasn't until I started calling on these beings of love and light that I felt, whoa, I'm so supported.
Yes.
But I would have never known that if I didn't take the first step.
Taking that first step. Yeah, very much. Trusting yourself and calling your power back is really speaking to some of the themes we talked about earlier of truth and authenticity and purpose. This is a part of it. They're very abstract concepts, but they're very much rooted in in reality right here and right now. It's like all of this is a practice. I've loved this conversation so much. Just a couple more questions here as for the last little bit of time, a little bit of dating questions that came through.
Okay.
One about rejection, and you posted a video recently about this, and I could not share it fast enough. I repost, reshare, all the things. So speaking, the reframe you offered for rejection was so incredible and beautiful. And so I'd love for you to share that now.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of people will reject us not because of who we are, but because of who they would have to become in order
Yes.
to exist within our reality.
Yes.
Remember what we were talking about before, vibing. People have to be in a similar vibration as you are to stay in your timeline because like attracts like. That's the basis of manifestation.
Hmm.
If someone sees you being in all your glory and all your light, and they subconsciously know, oh, shoot, because they will know, I have to rise to the occasion, but they have the choice to decline that and go back to what's familiar.
Yeah.
The addictions, the people that are in a lower vibration, the dynamics that they've existed within. A lot of people, you have to understand, a lot of people are not choosing to heal. A lot of people choose to go back to what it is they know. So
Yeah.
they will reject you, not because it's personal, but because it's vibrational. It's because they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
They don't want to heal. They don't want to look at the parts of themselves that they've been pushing down their whole entire lives. So them rejecting you is more about them than it has to do with you. See it as a blessing so you
Mm.
can make room for someone who is willing to do the work or who is on a similar journey and is currently doing the work and will do it alongside of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was incredible when I saw this. They're rejecting the version of themselves they would
Yeah.
have to become
Yes.
to be on your level, vibrate at your
Yeah.
level. And so
Yeah.
this is like how to not take rejection personally. It's like they're like, oop, and however they may do that with a text, a call, they ghost, right? It's like you're gonna experience rejection in many ways. But this was like really just the reframe I needed and was so happy to see that. And yeah. Now
Oh, I'm
have it on
so
the episode
happy.
today. Yes. One more question. Oh my gosh, I could talk to you forever. This one came through from a flirty asking about energetic boundaries. So
Okay.
we've been talking about energy a lot for the flirty that's out there dating that has heard this concept, but is unsure what that means. How can they just maintain and sort of be in control of their own energy when you're going to be dating the people that want a lot of access?
Yeah.
They may be causing you some anxiety. So just
Right.
maintaining your own energy, your own autonomy.
Definitely make sure that just because they're asking you out, it doesn't mean that you have to go out. I recently had someone ask me to go out, which I like them, I enjoy them, but
Mhm.
I knew in my body I was tired.
Mm.
I didn't get time to spend time with the divine. I didn't get time to read my books that weekend. And
Mhm.
I knew, okay, if I go out, maybe it's fun, maybe it's not, but I don't feel like my cup is full right now.
Mm.
So therefore,
Okay.
I need to have that as my number one priority. To be on your pedestal means you are your own number one priority, which, by the way, you should be. You are the center of your own universe because you are the magnet that's attracting everything towards you.
Yep.
So what I did was say, would love to see you next week, but I did not get to date the divine this weekend, and I need some
Yes.
time to do that to replenish myself. That's one thing. Another thing is have your phone on do not disturb. I really recommend this. I think that when we get a text, we feel like, oh my God, I have to answer it or I have to respond right now.
Yeah.
No, your phone should not be something that's always plugged into you and just deriving energy from you. No, it
Mhm.
should be a tool that you can plug into when you see fit. So having that on do not disturb. Another thing is we take a lot of energy through our solar plexus. When you go out,
Yeah.
I always imagine that I have a white light corset on my body, and this white light corset holds my energy together and blocks out other people's energy. So instead of me feeling their energy, this is why we get gut feelings. It goes through our solar plexus.
Yes.
Instead of me taking on their energy, my corset, and remember, intention, just intending it, thoughts are real in the energetic world. They are as real as the water bottle. Just intending really puts the energetic corset there of white light. This will protect your energy. If you feel like the corset isn't enough, put a bag or a jacket on your lap and it will block their energy too. We need energetic boundaries even when we're in their space because you don't
Okay.
need to be taking their energy back home with you. Another thing I'll just say is when you get back home, you can take a shower. Imagine that the water is washing off their energy.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
that you're getting
yeah.
back into your energy.
Mhm.
Palo Santo, white sage, whatever you want to use. Having a little process of cleansing and change your clothes immediately.
Okay.
That will also help you to have energy boundaries.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I cannot wait to share all of this with the Flirties. My only other question is just any final insights for the Flirties and where you live on the internet. They can listen to your podcast. Yeah.
Let me think if there's anything that wants to come through that wants to be said.
Okay.
I think really what it would be is just you have so much power even if you don't realize it. And just because you're unconscious to something doesn't mean that it's not real and it's not true. It means you haven't learned it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the ability to harness great strength and great mobility on this planet and great power.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, you have to start recognizing it within yourself. And we all have blind spots. So look for the information, read the books, take time to pour into yourself.
Yeah.
You owe it to your younger self. If you're not willing to do it for your adult self, do it for the version of you that had to fight to get to where you are right now. Because they still exist within you and they freaking need you. And that is what I want to say. They can find me on Instagram at Vibin with CiiCii. It's VIBIN with CiiCii. Or That Bitch Is Positive on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Or my book Show Up As Her, which can just be Googled.
Fantastic. I will make sure and have all those links in the show notes below. I'll send the Flirties your way. CiiCii, thank you so much for being on the show today and vibing with us.
Woo! I had so much fun. Thank you. It was an honor. I loved it.
Thank you. Flirties, that's a wrap on this episode of Flirtations, the episode all about energy, vibrations, frequency, energy healing, attraction. Yeah, we covered it all today. Thank you so much to our guest, CiiCii, for having this conversation with us, sharing so much knowledge, wisdom, and insight, and just personal experiences too. We got to learn more about CiiCii, hear more about her story, and I love it when conversations involve storytelling as well. So I hope you loved this conversation just as much as I enjoyed recording it and bringing it to you today. Thank you again to CiiCii and to you, the Flirties, for listening, tuning in, streaming, wherever you may be in the world. Cannot thank you enough for being here. I could not do this without you. So thank you so much. Now, please, if you'd love to, right? I think you do. I hope. Rate, review, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. If you've left a review, thank you so much. Share this with a friend, a family member, a neighbor, a coworker, someone you want to share some big flirt energy with. Share this episode with. Would love if you did just that. And officially signing off. I think that's all. I've checked all the things to say to you at the end here. My name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and gay Libra, saying goodbye from here at Flirt Headquarters. Only thing left is flirty. Happy flirting.